All right, guys, welcome back. We have a 1992, yes, it's old, Cadillac DeVille, and this car was actually in one of our other videos. It was the one where it was running rough, or I think running bad or whatever, misfiring, and we diagnosed it for a faulty fuel injector. At the time, the guy has not been back for over a year, or a year, whatever it's been, and he showed up here yesterday with the car and said that he was back at his mechanic and they were trying to fix it. They couldn't find out what was going on with it. The complaint on the vehicle this time is totally different. He said the car runs beautiful. Never had it run better, which is nice to hear. The complaint this time is that the horn on the vehicle will randomly go on. And it's not like an alarm where, you know, it's like this thing does have an alarm in it and all that crap, but it's not that type of like horn blowing where it's on and off. It's a blaring, steady on horn. So he says that it'll happen when in the middle of the night when it's sitting in the garage. It'll happen while he's driving the vehicle at random, and sometimes when he bangs on the horn pad, it'll go out. Okay, this is the horn pad on the vehicle. This is a airbag module, obviously. And for those who aren't familiar, I'll explain in detail how this works so that you can understand it. If you look, obviously this is your steering wheel. These here little pins are on a spring, all four of them, all four corners. They bolt to here, all right? They'll bolt into here, into these four threaded holes on the airbag module or the horn pad, whatever you want to call it. Here's how it works, okay? Basically, you have the steering column is grounded. So the wheel that's attached to the column is grounded into this plate here, okay? The ground is isolated between through these here, through these bolts. All right, these are isolated, so there's no ground into these. So when you have your connection here with this spring into the turn signal cancel cam, and this is bolted together, all right, you're going to have the bolts into this plate here. As it sits up away from everything, away from the plate, it's going to have no ground. But when you push in on the pad, you're essentially making contact to the steel plate, and you're grounding each one of these lugs, these bolts, in turn grounding the plate, sending ground obviously through here, making completing the circuit through the turn signal cancel cam, and that's going to kick your relay on. If you look on the diagram here, the diagram will show the same thing. Okay, your horn relay's here, your slip ring, your horn switch. Slip ring is really the turn signal cancel cam. It's all part of it. So as the switch grounds, closes the switch, it grounds. It sends ground to the relay, to the control side of the relay. It will create the magnetic field. It will close the relay, turn the horn on. Okay, simple circuit, not a big deal. Problem is, it's very hard to see anything in here when this is all together, and you can't really tell what was going on, and it's intermittent. Okay, so they told him that the steering pad was loose on the vehicle, and it was causing the issue. He took it, he drove it, he got 2 blocks, the horn started blaring. So all right, guys, I had to take a break here and I forgot where I left off. I've been busy. Had another dormant failure. In any case, so what was happening here is this horn was getting stuck, and a lot of times on these older cars, when the horn would activate in cold weather like we're having now intermittently, you would have something where the horn pad would shrink and it would cause it to get tight and cause the activation. That's what I said, well, maybe that's a possibility here, whatever. Started investigating it a little bit, and I'm not going to bore you with all the gruesome details, but I couldn't get it to act up for a while. I was playing around with it. I walked away, and when I walked away, the horn came on, of course. So I came back to it and started doing some more investigating. And what I'm going to show you over here if you could look inside past this piece here, okay, this is the lock ring for the steering. If you look past that, you'll see a Phillips head screw. That Phillips head screw is attached to the arm, the eccentric for this, okay, for the wiper, for the turn signal switch. Now I'm going to try to do this so I could show you guys. I'm going to hold this. Let's see if I could zoom in. And if you watch that, and you notice that, I don't know if you could see it too well, but I can see it. There's movement where there shouldn't be, okay? And what's happening is something is hitting as I touch this horn. Well, I'm trying to get this thing to show itself, but I can't right now. I can't get it to do it, but you're gonna have to take my word for it. Somebody was in here, apparently, or absolutely, because they had told me somebody was in here. And I'm going to see if I can get this to work properly. So that's where I'm at right now. And if you guys want to stick around, you can. And we'll see what we see, where we end up. But that's pretty much where I'm at. So what I'm gonna do, see, what I don't understand is why they left everything loose here. That's the thing that I don't understand, is if they were in here, why they didn't simply tighten up that screw where it's supposed to be. That's the part I don't get. So that's what happens. Now I'm just showing you guys this. I mean, the reason I'm doing this video, now I'll show you something too. If I ground this, here's your horn. The reason I'm doing this, that's nice and tight. Now, what I don't think is going to be able to get that to act up like that, so I'm going to put the wheel on. Put this in first. The reason I'm going through this, guys, on video is because you can easily, with any stuff, this is just a, you know, a recommendation to guys to be very, very careful before changing anything in a car, all right? We used to get these cars a lot of times that were not touched, and they would start blowing the horn, like I said, and it would be the horn pad that would fail on them. It's very common on these older cars. And the cold weather would be the culprit. It would cause the, you know, it would cause it to happen. So that's why I'm telling you, if we would have jumped to conclusions here and threw a horn pad in it, it would absolutely have done nothing to fix or resolve the issue for this guy. So we're trying to make sure before we do anything like that. I want the car fixed right the first time, and I don't want to have to go through it, you know, twice or three times for the same issue, obviously. That's never productive. Okay, that's in. Now, I'm not going to put it all back together, but I want to see with the steering wheel on if we have an issue or not, which we shouldn't. I can't turn the shaft and everything with the wheel off. It needs a key switch too. But I believe that's going to fix the car. Yes. Because before I can actually touch this, I could just tap on the switch here and the horn would activate. All right, so I do not believe that we're going to have any issues here. So I'm going to pop this back together. I'm going to road test it, and we're going to find out whether or not we're going to have a problem. Now, one thing that is a pain in the ass with this car is that when I put this back, it's going to want to blow the horn constantly, which really is a pain in the ass. All right, so we've got our horn back on, our horn pad. I'm gonna start her up. Works nice. This works nice. And there is no more of that silliness happening in there, okay? So that was all because of a bolt of screw being left loose and making contact and grounding out where it shouldn't be. So looks to me like everything is going to be all right. I will road test it, drive it around for a while, and this thing would act up instantly. Though I was once I found out what was going on here, I was able to get it to do this consistently, and it's no longer doing it. So fantastic news on that. Now I want to touch on something else with you guys, if that's all right. And I want to show you. I'm going to just put the camera here, bring you guys down over here and take a look. If you look at this, okay, this is all potential issues, okay, of all types of other problems waiting to happen. See that? See it? I pulled this panel down to gain access so I could test. It's far easier to get to the wiring that way, and I wanted to run some tests on it and see if I can monitor the circuit, because I couldn't get it to do it, obviously, so I wanted to be prepared for when it did. But in any case, when I took the panel down, that's what fell on top of my head, okay? This is all potential bad. There's nothing good there. The wiring, I'll show you some other stuff too, hang on. It's gonna be a little tight to see, guys, but I'm gonna try to kind of run yous under here like this, just so I could show you. Here's your theft system. Hang on, let me back out of there a little bit. Here's your theft system. Obviously a resistor in there to bypass it. Here's your wiring from the switch up in the steering column, all taped together. Here's your ignition bypass wire for the alarm. There is it. Hang on. Because this is pretty right here. Right here. There's your sticking through. Here's the other side of it over here. And if you look, you'll see the tape over where they... This is really stupid. Hang on. It's hard to get under here, guys, with a camera, but there's the tape all over everything. Taped wires. Actually, that's not even taping anything. I don't know what that's for. This part right here is the yellow to the red here. That wire, that heavy wire, that is your start circuit. And if you can see in there, how nice, right? It's all twisted together with tape on it. And it's just a complete and utter mess. All right, that is not the way to do it. If you're gonna put an alarm in a car, which I don't recommend in the first place, that is not the way to do it. So I'm gonna recommend that this guy lets me straighten this mess out under here. And if he doesn't, then he can just sign off on the fact that he is aware of it It is what it is, so that's it. But the steering column, if there's any other problems, I will let you know.